In the last decade, several nations have experienced remarkable economic growth, including both developed and developing countries. These nations have achieved unprecedented levels of success, with many developing countries being designated as the next global economic powerhouse. Despite doubts about their potential, the countries that are now considered to be strong economic contenders have proven to surpass expectations. Looking back, it would have been difficult to imagine that some of these countries would be where they are today. However, there is one particular country that stands out amongst these successful nations with the potential to rival even the most developed countries in the future. Vietnam is emerging as a rising star in the Southeast Asian region. You might be wondering how a nation that has experienced war and faces several geographical challenges and which only transitioned to a market-based economy from a socialist-based economy in a short span of a few decades can contend for economic titles. Out of all the developing countries today, Vietnam stands out with its exceptional performance in GDP growth, export-oriented manufacturing, and foreign direct investments. As of 2021, Vietnam's GDP has surpassed $366 billion, a substantial increase from 2010 when it was only $147.2 billion. This represents a remarkable accomplishment of more than double the GDP in just a decade. However, the real highlight of Vietnam's growth lies in its per capita income, which has exceeded that of several neighboring countries it had been lagging behind for decades. Just a decade ago, Vietnam's GDP per capita was a mere $2,028 in 2010, making it the lowest among the Big Five countries in Southeast Asia. But as of 2021, Vietnam has surpassed the Philippines and is gradually closing in on Indonesia. But that's not the end of Vietnam's economic accomplishments. By the end of 2022, Vietnam has achieved significant economic breakthroughs. Firstly, it recorded a GDP growth of 8.02%, the highest since 1997. Secondly, its total exports surged to a staggering $371.8 billion, making it one of the largest developing countries in terms of exports. In fact, Vietnam is the second largest country in Southeast Asia in terms of exports, only behind Singapore. This is a remarkable accomplishment, particularly as Southeast Asia is a significant destination for foreign outsourcing activities. Moreover, the foreign direct investment received by Vietnam in 2022 was substantial at $22.4 billion. To put it simply, Vietnam has become an essential player in the global economy in just a few years. In the early 2000s, if you had asked someone if Vietnam could ever catch up to, let alone surpass, its neighboring nations in wealth or economic growth, they would have undoubtedly laughed in your face. Yet, as of right now, this emerging star has surpassed all predictions. These are only historical data too. Vietnam has even larger ambitions for the future. Vietnam has been identified as the future global economic powerhouse by numerous academics and institutions. Many of you may be curious as to how Vietnam rose to prominence. Did its government depart from the established frameworks in any way, or did a small number of business owners stimulate the economy? In actuality, a wide range of reasons are responsible for their rise. Exports, foreign investments, and the transition from an economy focused on agriculture to one based on industry and services may all be attributed to this. To begin with, let us talk about exports. Vietnam's export market is thriving, and as the second largest in Southeast Asia, it means that the country is successfully selling a significant amount of its products overseas. According to data from the United Nations Comtrade, Vietnam's largest exports by category are electronics, accounting for 39% of its total exports, followed by machinery, apparel, and footwear. Vietnam owes a significant portion of its export growth to foreign investments, particularly from Samsung, the South Korean multinational electronics company that has established a massive presence in Vietnam. Samsung's investment in Vietnam has been instrumental in making the country a rising superstar in the electronics industry. According to a VN Express report, Vietnam's total exports from Samsung products reached $65 billion at the end of 2022. A significant portion of the country's total exports of $371 billion. Samsung's contribution to Vietnam's economy is enormous, and the company remains a significant player in Vietnamese economy. You might be curious as to what led this phenomenon. The answer lies in Vietnam's production of more than 50% of Samsung's total smartphone output. As is common knowledge, Samsung ranks second among smartphone brands globally, just behind Apple. Nevertheless, when we focus solely on economical smartphone gadgets, we can observe that Vietnam not only exceeds Apple in this sector, but has also emerged as a crucial contributor to the production of low-cost smartphones for developing nations. Regarding the statistics, the annual production of smartphone devices amounts to millions. In addition, Samsung has invested a sum of over $18 billion in Vietnam as foreign investment, and they intend to augment this investment to $20 billion. Samsung is not the only corporation that has made foreign investments in Vietnam. There are numerous global companies that have invested billions of dollars in the Vietnamese economy, and all of them are driving the country's exports to reach unprecedented levels every year. The Vietnamese economy has changed from traditional to contemporary economic systems aside from foreign investments and exports. Many economic reforms have been carried out by the administration, such as the privatization of the largest state-owned corporations. This change denotes a shift toward a system that is more focused on the market. As a result, both locally and worldwide, investment has greatly increased. Vietnam has enhanced its domestic market competitiveness by putting more of an emphasis on a market-oriented system, which has increased productivity and helped the country's overall economic growth. Lastly, the improvement of infrastructure and export promotion played a crucial role in the development of Vietnam's economy. The government placed greater emphasis on things that mattered, recognizing that the world did not require vast amounts of agriculture and commodity-based products, but instead sought electronics, machines, and other such products. According to the Korean Economic Institute of America, a reputable institution that published an article in 2021, Vietnam has become an essential partner for South Korea. The report highlighted that the primary factor leading to numerous South Korean firms investing in Vietnam is its political stability. Vietnam's legal system, which enables it to remain open to foreign investments, has contributed to its unique status among the entire region. Combining all of these factors, including the country's low wages and costs, as well as its strong political stability, it is not surprising that Vietnam has experienced rapid economic growth. Today, Vietnam still offers reasonably competitive wages compared to other nations, which makes it a desirable option for foreign investment. According to the Statista Research Department, as of 2018, the average salary in Vietnam was just $2.73 per hour, compared to China's $5.51 per hour and Mexico's $4.45 per hour. In addition, the cost of electricity in Vietnam is remarkably low. Global Petrol Prices reports that Vietnam's average electricity price for businesses is just 0.076 cents per kilowatt hour, whereas China's average is over 0.093 cents per kilowatt hour. Operational costs play a vital role in attracting foreign investors and domestic entrepreneurs. However, what has been mentioned thus far is not even the complete list of reasons behind Vietnam's meteoric rise. There are several other factors that contribute to Vietnam's impressive economic growth that has not been mentioned yet. For example, the country's rising businesses are helping to position Vietnam in international markets. Additionally, Vietnam has achieved an impressive reduction of poverty to single-digit figures and pushed unemployment to historically low levels. In short, there are numerous factors that have contributed to Vietnam's success in recent years. But what do you think? Will Vietnam continue to outstage its neighboring countries? If so, why? Comment your answers below. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, click the like button and subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay updated.